I used to believe life was linear. Study hard, get a degree, land a good job, climb the ladder, retire rich. And for a while, that was true. I was a financial analyst for one of the biggest investment firms in the city. My days were filled with charts, meetings, and making people richer. My nights were spent planning my future with the woman I loved. My office was on the 28th floor. Corner view. Sunlight all day. People smiled when they saw me. I had it all figured out. Until the market collapsed. In less than 2 weeks, everything I had built came crashing down. The firm laid off over half the staff. I was one of the casualties. The apartment I could barely afford became impossible. The engagement ring I had hidden in my drawer lost its meaning the day she said, "I can't build a future on uncertainty." I was jobless, alone, and angry. I applied everywhere. I tweaked my resume a dozen times, lowered expectations, tried fast food chains, local stores, startups, even the gig economy. Nothing. "You're overqualified." "We just filled the position." "We don't think you're the right fit." Every rejection stung deeper. Every passing day made my confidence shrink. I started waking up later and later. Some mornings, I didn't wake up at all. I just existed in bed, staring at the ceiling, feeling like a ghost in my own life. Then came the day I saw the ad. Janitorial services needed, downtown corporate building. It was the same building where I used to wear tailored suits and pitch million-dollar portfolios. I applied. I got the job. They handed me a uniform and a cart. At first, I kept my head down. I scrubbed floors, emptied bins, and cleaned windows I used to look out of with pride. People passed me without noticing. Some laughed behind my back. I could feel it. The pity, the confusion, the whispered questions. Is that really him? What happened to him? What they didn't know was I was observing. Every night, while sweeping office floors, I listened to meetings through glass doors. I watched team dynamics, paid attention to what made some departments efficient and others dysfunctional. I took mental notes, jotted ideas in a small notepad I kept in my supply cart. At home, I studied. Business case studies, market shifts, management strategies. I became obsessed. One night, while wiping down the conference room table, I noticed a whiteboard full of problems. Budget overruns, failing logistics, a project clearly spiraling. It was called Project Ashwood. I couldn't ignore it. I went home that night and drafted a full proposal. 10 pages, solutions, cost analysis, restructuring ideas, everything. I signed it anonymously and slid it under the director of operations' door the next day. I expected nothing. It was just an urge I had to release. But a week later, everything changed. "Are you the one who submitted this?" he asked, holding the pages. I nodded. "You wrote this?" "Yes." "Why are you pushing a mop?" I explained everything. My background, my fall, my reasons. He didn't speak for a full minute. Then he said, "We have a meeting Monday. Be there." I attended, in a janitor's uniform. The looks I got ranged from amusement to disbelief. I presented my proposal. Nervous hands, dry throat, heart pounding. But I spoke clearly, with conviction. After 30 minutes, the room was silent. Then the director stood up and said, "This is better than anything our internal teams have offered in 6 months." He offered me a position. Not in management, not yet, but a stepping stone. Within a year, I became a strategist. I led the revamp of Project Ashwood, turned it from a money pit into one of the company's most successful launches. 2 years later, I was promoted to Vice President of Business Development. Today, people knock on my office door. The janitor cart is long gone, but the lesson stayed about humility, grit, and never letting the world decide your worth. They laughed when I took the janitor job. They don't laugh now.